Hello guys and welcome to Gone 2 series. In the earlier tutorial, we talked about a concept BeanPostProcessor along with a simple demo. Now in this tutorial, we will learn how a BeanPostProcessor class implements the ordered interface. So the idea is when you have more than one BeanPostProcessor classes in your application, then in which order Spring calls these classes after every Bean's initialization by the Spring container. So you can control the order of execution by implementing an ordered interface in your BeanPostProcessor classes. So let's get our hands dirty with a demo to understand more about the concept and its importance. So this is what we performed in the earlier tutorial, that is a BeanPostProcessor demo. We wrote a test class, a restaurant class having init and destroy methods which are lifecycle events for restaurant bean, a demo BeanPostProcessor class implementing BeanPostProcessor interface. So these are the two methods which it has implemented from BeanPostProcessor interface. And a Spring's configuration file. Here we have put an entry of restaurant bean and we have put an entry of demo BeanPostProcessor class using this syntax. Now what we'll do, we will include one more BeanPostProcessor class in this project, and also provide its entry in the Spring's configuration file the way we have done it for demo BeanPostProcessor 1. Just to save some time, I've already created a replica of demo BeanPostProcessor 1 in this project with the name demo BeanPostProcessor 2 and put the entry of both BeanPostProcessors here in the Spring's configuration file like this. While creating one more BeanPostProcessor in this project, I made one more change in these BeanPostProcessor classes. So what I did, in the SOPs of the functions here, I mentioned the class name. So for demo BeanPostProcessor 1, I mentioned the name in the SOPs for both the methods. Similarly, I did same thing for demo BeanPostProcessor 2. Alright, so now our application is ready with two BeanPostProcessors without implementing ordered interface in any of these two BeanPostProcessor classes. So what we'll do, we'll run our application without implementing ordered interface in both these BeanPostProcessor classes. We'll go to the test class and run the application. So if we check the output, immediately after creating the restaurant bean, Spring called postProcess after initialization method for demo BeanPostProcessor 1, and then it called postProcess before initialization method which is placed in the demo BeanPostProcessor 2, and then it called init lifecycle event for the restaurant bean, and again it called the methods postProcess after initialization for demo BeanPostProcessor 1 and 2. So here Spring decided to call demo BeanPostProcessor 1 before demo BeanPostProcessor 2. Now what if you wish to reverse this order? What if you want Spring to call the methods which are placed in demo BeanPostProcessor 2 before it calls the methods placed in demo BeanPostProcessor 1? So how you can do it? You can provide your own custom order in every BeanPostProcessor class in your Spring project, and Spring will consider that order value to decide which BeanPostProcessor to call first and which one to call next. So this order value you can provide in every BeanPostProcessor class by implementing an interface called ordered interface. So let's do that. We would implement the ordered interface for demo BeanPostProcessor 2 first and then for demo BeanPostProcessor 1. Ordered interface. It's giving error because we have to implement one of the methods which is provided by ordered interface. So let's do that. So this is the method which we have implemented from ordered interface. So what we want is, we would want Spring to call methods in demo BeanPostProcessor 2 before methods in demo BeanPostProcessor 1. So what we'll do, we'll provide highest priority to demo BeanPostProcessor 2 by providing here the return value in getOrder function. So we have provided here 0 value, which is already there. So 0 value means Spring would consider it as the highest priority. So Spring would call all the methods present in demo BeanPostProcessor 2 before calling the methods which are present in any other BeanPostProcessor class in this Spring project. So we have provided an order value here in demo BeanPostProcessor 2. Now let's provide the order value in demo BeanPostProcessor 1 as well. So we'll implement the ordered interface first. Alright. So what we want is, we want Spring to consider demo BeanPostProcessor 1 after executing methods in demo BeanPostProcessor 2. So that I can do by providing the order value a little lower than what we have provided here. So I would give it a value 1. So 0 means highest priority, and after 0, 1 means a little lower than 0. So Spring would call the methods in demo BeanPostProcessor 2 before calling the methods in demo BeanPostProcessor 1 by going through order values in BeanPostProcessor classes. Alright, so our application is ready. Let's go to our test class and run this application. Alright, so if we check the output, Spring has called the methods which are present in demo BeanPostProcessor 2 before calling the methods which are present in demo BeanPostProcessor 1. So by giving the order values in respective BeanPostProcessor classes, this way you can always control the order of execution of BeanPostProcessors in your Spring project. If you observe here, I've hard-coded the order values in these methods in both BeanPostProcessor classes. So what you can do instead is, you can provide a property, int property order in BeanPostProcessor classes and provide their values from Spring's configuration file inside the BeanPostProcessor classes as one of the properties using setter or constructor way. In the next tutorial, we'll talk about one more important concept in Spring, and that is a Bean Factory post processor.
Guys, thanks for liking our tutorials and providing feedback to us through emails and comments. Believe me, your comments and feedback is really valuable to us. Do like this video if you really like it, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to get all updates on latest video tutorials and programming stuff.